Let's talk quarterbacks. Here are the top 10 quarterbacks for our ranks this season. Josh Allen, number 1, after leading the position in points each of the past 2 seasons. Patrick Mahomes, no Tyreek Hill, drops him all the way down to number 2. He's still Patrick Mahomes. Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray round out that top 5. Joe Burrow creeps into the top 10. Aaron Rodgers, back-to-back MVP at number 9. And let's talk about these first 2 quarterbacks, Mike, because at least at last check, Josh Allen's average draft position was 23.3, which means people are prioritizing Allen in the top of the 3rd round over extremely valuable running backs or wide receivers, guys like Aaron Jones, Keenan Allen, Mike Evans. Players are being bypassed for Josh Allen. Speaking generally, and this is extremely generally, are you letting others be the ones to draft Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen because they're just going too early?
That's exactly right. You know, we just saw a lot of quarterbacks there in our rankings. I like them all. Where they're going in drafts,
cold take. I like them all.
I like 12, actually, and we only showed 10, right? So I'll wait until the middle rounds of my draft and take an Aaron Rodgers or a Matthew Stafford. There's a lot of quality options this year. Look, Josh Allen, to some extent, is in a league of his own, right? He has 63 more fantasy points than any other quarterback over the past 2 seasons. I mean, look, last year he was the top-scoring quarterback, and he was below average in completion percentage and yards per attempt. Yeah. Below average, and still dominated that position in the fantasy department. I think his rushing yardage probably comes down a little bit this season, but it's still a pass-heavy, high-scoring offense. They're going to throw it a ton. Look, if you want to take him, go for it. He's great.
It's never going to hurt your roster. Like, David, you're never going to lose your lead because you have Josh Allen on your roster, but in a league where it feels like forever, we were talking about how there's never enough good quarterbacks. Doesn't it kind of feel like we're trending to a spot where not every team in the league, but other than a handful of teams, it kind of feels like everybody has a plan at quarterback right now, and you kind of understand it.
Absolutely. I mean, listen, you're talking about, you know, especially these elite quarterbacks. I mean, a guy like Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, they're such dual threat type of guys. They, you know, obviously they can operate from within the pocket, but they do a lot of damage outside the pocket. And when you talk about being able to attack a defense with your legs, it applies a whole different set of pressures. But there's a lot of quarterbacks that's doing that. So, you know, I get your point when you're talking about Josh Allen. It's like, yeah, he's great, but you can find other quarterbacks, you know, like in the, you know, 10 to 12 quarterbacks that going to be producing similar type numbers that Josh Allen's going to be producing.
If you thought that Tom Brady was a steal, 199th overall in the 6th round of the 2000 NFL draft, he's going in the 8th round of fantasy drafts on average right now. Although Tom Brady is not presently with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So we bring Shefty back in. And Shefty, is there any reason to think that Tom Brady's absence may prolong into the season or could be a cause of concern?
No, I think when the games start, Tom Brady will be there. And I think Todd Bowles, the Buccaneers head coach, said as much when he's addressed the issue. He said it's a private matter, personal matter. It was discussed and planned before training camp. It's hard to imagine that Brady just takes 10 days off, considering how he treats football, how he feels about his teammates, to go maintain a work-life balance. Obviously, he had things that he wanted to get done, things he needed to do during this break, things that had to be addressed, and that's why he's taking the time away to deal with a personal issue, as Todd Bowles has described it. But when the regular season begins, Tom Brady is expected to be there. I would be floored if he missed any games, and he's taking his time away right now when he can do it.
Shefty, I hope you know that I am only trying to serve the audience. You, fantasy manager, if you are looking at the quarterbacks that are going in that round 8 range, you've got Tom Brady, you've got Jalen Hurts, you've got Joe Burrow and Russell Wilson not that far behind. Are you more prone to grab one of those guys in those middle rounds, or are you going to be even more patient?
Well, it's interesting. I was listening to the conversation about Josh Allen. To me, it's like one of these players who gets a big contract. They could go out and go get a Ferrari and spend all your money on a big fancy car. But the fact of the matter is there are other needs that you have to address in life. And it's like that in fantasy football. You can go use a high pick on a quarterback like Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes, and it feels great because you know you have one of the top quarterbacks in the league. But then you don't have enough money allocated elsewhere, and you just lost some of your draft capital. I remember a buddy of mine last year took Patrick Mahomes in the 2nd round. I said, what do you think? I said, I love Mahomes as a quarterback. I wouldn't take him in round 2. That's me. It's just too high. I'd rather wait. I'd rather have any one of those guys fall to my team. Last year, I had Jalen Hurts in one league. I'm trying to remember who I had in the War Room League.
Kyler Murray.
I had Jalen Hurts. I had Kyler Murray in our league. Okay, there you go. I'm glad you remember my team better than me. So that's encouraging. I had Jalen Hurts and Kyler Murray last year, and I got both guys. Well, Kyler Murray I took a little bit earlier last year, but I wouldn't go second, third round on a quarterback, I don't think.
Yeah, it seems like patience is the plan at quarterback. There's just so much value.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.